Crescent City Retirement Group, LLC, is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Centers for Disease Control and or any other government agency. This is Retirement Keys with Anthony Congemi from Crescent City Retirement Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Anthony provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Retirement Keys with your host, Anthony Congemi.
All right. Hello and welcome back to Retirement Keys. My name's Anthony Congemi with Crescent City Retirement Group. If you're like the information that you've been hearing, we really appreciate you joining the show today. We have a great show, I believe, on the guide to Roth IRAs. I have our co-host, fabulous co-host with us, Tony Shore. Tony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, it's great to be here, Anthony, and I'm glad we're going to talk about Roth IRAs today and IRAs in general because I know with the current economic climate and the stock market the way they are, combined with the low taxes we have right now, taxes are basically on sale. We're going to jump into that. I have a lot of questions for you because I've heard a lot of, especially baby boomers are in the position to, what they can do with their IRAs, and Roth IRA conversions are a real big thing right now, depending on your situation. But yeah, I have been great, Anthony. I've had a great week. Just keeping busy, trying to stay busy, get some stuff done outside, but busy with work as well, recording a lot, working with you on ads and marketing and doing the show. I think it's so fun. I look forward to the show each week, Anthony, and we always have fun. How about you, though? Are you keeping busy? Are you meeting with people in person again now, right?
Yeah, I am, Tony. So we're meeting people in person. We have, a lot of people are coming back into the office. Of course, we're handling all of the social distancing requirements. A lot of our folks come in with masks. We'll put masks on, and we are, and people do want to get out. And even though the Zoom meetings and online meetings have work out really well, actually, very, very convenient, but still, sometimes it's good to just get together, and so we welcome both avenues, whether we want to meet by phone or online, on the computer or in person. We've been doing a bit of all three of those venues.
Wow, that's amazing. You've been really busy, and I know you love talking to listeners. You've met with a couple of listeners in the past week, and you like to hear about it. If they have questions, they can give you a call or set up that complimentary consultation. There's no cost or obligation. And I know before we jump into it, I know you have a couple of informational webinars coming up, and we're going to talk about that. So this is great. But if our listeners have questions, what's the phone number they can call you at?
Absolutely, Tony. So you're right. We do have topical webinars coming up every Tuesday in the month of June. We're going to be talking about different things: Medicare, Social Security, estate planning, tax planning, and retirement. So we have some great webinars, topical webinars. We call that Topical Tuesday. We do that on Tuesdays. And then we have our 5 keys to a stress-free retirement. We have those webinars coming up, as well as we're going to be doing our dinner events back at Austin's, again, social distancing and all of the best practices. But yeah, they can call 504-828-2171. You can call our office, talk to Katie, schedule some time, log on to let us get you scheduled for one of our webinars coming up. We'd love to have you. And, frankly, when we do our webinars, invariably, we do have a lot of our radio audience that logs in. And it's great. I really, appreciate having the support from our radio listeners to come into the webinar and learn more about the individual topics we're discussing. So again, it's 504-828-2171, or they can go to crescentcityretirement.com.
All right, that sounds great. Now, obviously our country has been stirred up by economic disruption and uncertainty, but people are looking for stability. And I know we wanted to talk a little bit about Roth IRAs today. I think this is a good topic, and our listeners are going to be interested in it. How about we start off with the basics? Tell us what a Roth IRA is, and what's that about?
Sure, Tony. So a Roth IRA essentially is a retirement account where you paid taxes on the money that went into the account, which means you don't have to pay taxes on that money as it flows out of the account. So a traditional IRA, when you put the money in, of course, it's pre-tax dollars and you get the tax break going in. But then as the account grows over the years, of course, it's all taxable coming out. Whereas in a Roth, as I say, when you put the money in, you don't necessarily get the tax break when the money goes in, but then it grows tax deferred and tax free. When the money comes out of the Roth IRA, it's all tax free money. So a great account to have to blend into your retirement income plan, because a lot of times we're trying to maintain lower tax brackets. We're trying to be tax efficient, and having that Roth IRA as part of the equation can really go a long way, Tony.
Well, yeah, I would imagine. So a Roth IRA is essentially then it's a retirement account where you've paid taxes on the money up front that's flowing into the account, but that means you don't have to pay any taxes on the money or the interest earned as you pull it out in retirement. So that sounds like a great way to go to me personally. What are some of the other basic building blocks of Roth IRAs and why we're talking about them today?
Well, Tony, for our listeners today, I think it's easy to just simply remember that a Roth IRA is probably best positioned to help those who think their taxes will be higher in retirement than they presently are now, especially with all this stimulus that's gone on and the CARES Act. A lot of people are projecting, a lot of tax folks and experts are projecting that taxes probably will have to go up in the future to help pay down some of this debt. So it's critical to note that you can't contribute to a Roth IRA if you make too much money. So there is some limitation there. In 2020, the limit for a single person is $139,000, and for a married couple, it's $206,000. Additionally, the allowable contribution amount does change from time to time. So the 2020 maximum contribution for an IRA, a Roth or a traditional is $6,000. You can contribute up to $6,000. If you're over 50, there's a catch-up provision where you can put in an additional $1,000. So it's $7,000 if you're over 50. But again, you have to meet those income requirements. But as I say, Tony, if you meet the income requirements, it's a great way to contribute money to an account that's ultimately going to be tax-free dollars coming out.
Right. And it seems like Roth IRAs then are really similar to a lot of other retirement income products that are out there, but I'm guessing there are some key differences. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. Like many other qualified retirement accounts, the money that's dedicated to your Roth IRA, as we say, grows tax-free. Both Roth is less restrictive in many ways. Contributions can contribute at any age as long as the account holder has made income equal to or greater than the contribution amount. The account holder can maintain their Roth IRA indefinitely because there's no required minimum distribution. So again, you can put into a Roth in any age. You could be my 20-year-old son who makes, let's say, $6,000 on a part-time job, and he can contribute then up to that $6,000 into his Roth IRA. So the beauty of that is being even younger, they can contribute money to their Roth. All that money grows. They can buy stocks. They can buy whatever they want to buy inside the IRA with very few restrictions. And that money all grows tax-free, Tony. So it's really a phenomenal tool.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. I mean, it sounds amazing. And I feel like I'm rapid firing questions at you today, Anthony, but I am really interested in this. How does a person go about opening a Roth IRA? Like, can I just go out and get a Roth IRA today, and can everyone get one?
That's a critical question, Tony. And yeah, that's a critical question, Tony. And I'm glad you brought that up. A Roth IRA does have to be established with an institution that receives IRS permission to offer them. Generally, this includes banks, brokerage companies, federally insured credit unions, savings and loan associations. Most people open IRAs with brokers. A Roth IRA can be established at any time, but contributions for the year have to be made by the IRA owner's tax filing deadline, which for most people is April 15th of the following year. When you establish your Roth IRA, you'll be given the IRA disclosure statement and an IRA adoption agreement and plan documents. So, you can open up, we open Roth IRAs up all the time at our firm, and just a great way to open up an account that's going to offer you some real tax advantages in the future. And again, there's contribution limits and there's income limits. And of course, you have to put in before a certain point for you to get the credit for that particular tax year. So there's a couple of little moving parts there, Tony. But I tell you, when we build retirement plans, we love to see folks that have a Roths, because again, when we're structuring income inside of a retirement income plan, if we have those tax-free dollars that we can bleed in to the income plan, we can go a long way in being really tax efficient over a retirement plan.
Well, and tax efficiency is where it's at. That's what we're all looking for, especially when it comes to the large sums of money that we're saving up for retirement. And I think that's really huge. And now I have heard of those, agreement plan documents. And as I recall, they provide the IRA owner with a rundown of the rules and the regulations, and all that information about the IRAs and the custodians and trustees, right?
Oh, absolutely, Tony. Our listeners should also remember to shop around a bit when selecting an institution for a Roth IRA. Some providers have a long list of investment options, while others have a narrow group of investments. And nearly all institutions have different Roth IRA fee structure, which can certainly affect your returns on your investments. So a financial services professional, of course, can help with that. But I would say the two takeaways here, Tony, is the investment options that are available inside the Roth, and again, the fees. What are the fees going to be? And of course, those are two areas that you want to make sure you understand when you open that Roth with the institution.
Right. Yeah, and that's really important to understand. Now, our time is just about up for this first segment, Anthony. Is there anything else you want to add for our listeners before we take a quick break?
Well, sure. Well, first, I'd just like to, again, mention to please register for our complimentary Topical Tuesday webinars. It's specifically designed for retirees. You can register at retirementseminarregistration.com. So retirementseminarregistration.com. You can register for our upcoming Topical Tuesday webinars. If you're retired or soon to be retired, these are definitely some workshops you're not going to want to miss. So please take a minute and go to the retirement registration page. You can go to our website at crescentcityretirement.com. Also, for a list of the topics that are coming up on these webinars. But we want to thank you so much for joining us in this segment. And I do have a special offer I would like to make to our listeners, Tony.
You've been listening to our shows and advice on getting your finances in order and creating a retirement income plan that will last. Now is the time to take advantage of our special offer. This is Anthony Kangemi with Crescent City Retirement Group, and we're now offering our 3-step retirement planning process at no cost and a $100 gift card to the restaurant of your choice upon completion of the planning process. Call Crescent City Retirement Group within the next 20 minutes at 504-828-2171. That number again is 504-828-2171.
And welcome back to Retirement Keys. I'm your co-host, Tony Shore, and our host, the man with the plan, especially when it comes to traditional and Roth IRAs and retirement planning, is our host, Anthony Kangemi from Crescent City Retirement. Can you let our listeners know about that webinar, how they can attend? I believe there's no cost to that, right?
No cost at all, Tony. It's every Tuesday in the month of June. You can go to crescentcityretirement.com, go to our website. They've got a list of all the webinars there. Or you can go directly to the registration page at retirementseminarregistration.com, retirementseminarregistration.com, and you can register right there for the webinars coming up here all through the month of June, Tony.
All right. Well, that sounds great. And I'm thinking more about what a Roth IRA could do for my retirement pocketbook. And it sounds good, at least for certain situations, for certain people. Tell us a little bit more about qualified distributions from a Roth IRA. How does that work?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Investopedia Roth IRA, the complete guide, explains you can withdraw money known as a distribution from your Roth IRA without penalty or a tax hit if you only take out the amount equal to the total you put in. A distribution isn't considered a taxable income and isn't subject to a penalty no matter your age or how long the money has been in the account. So it's really, Tony, very, very flexible. A Roth IRA is very, very flexible. And I'd like to just mention, too, we talked about these contributions, but a lot of times, too, Tony, people that are getting really close to retirement, especially if they feel like taxes are going to be going up in the future, we do a lot of what's called Roth conversions, where you actually take funds from your traditional IRA. And of course, we don't want to go into higher tax brackets. So there is a Roth conversion strategy where you kind of fill up the bracket, so to speak, where you don't jump into a higher tax bracket. So it's a strategic calculation that's made. But I can tell you, these Roth conversion strategies, especially with the amount of debt that our country has and the idea that taxes probably will go up in the future. Of course, we don't know that for sure, but if they are going to go up in the future, then it can be said that taxes are on sale right now. So taking advantage of those Roth conversions for the right situation can really, some of these numbers can really look phenomenal as well. So I just wanted to bring that point out that, there's more than one way to skin a cat as it relates to getting money into a Roth.
I like it. That's an oldie but a goodie. There is more than one way to skin a cat, and you got to get it in there and make sure you're able to take the money out when you need it. And that sounds great. In fact, you could say Roths sound too great. There has to be a but in here somewhere, right?
Well, Tony, when you're right, you're right. The but here is that the distribution of the account earnings to be qualified, it has to occur at least 5 years. It's got to be 5 years into the Roth, and the owners established future their first Roth, and the distribution must occur under one of these conditions. So number one, it has to be in there 5 years. So I'll give you some other conditions. The Roth IRA holder must be at least 59 and a half at the moment of the distribution. So that's a caveat. You have to be at least 59 and a half. The distribution assets must be used for the purchase, build or rebuild of a first home for the Roth IRA holder or qualified family member. So if they want to pull money out prior to 59 and a half, they can do that if they're building a first home or rebuilding a home. The distribution is necessary because the Roth IRA holder has become disabled. So that's another caveat. If you haven't made 59 and a half, but you become disabled, that's another way to access the funds. And then the assets are distributed to the beneficiary, to the Roth IRA holder after their death. So if you die before 59 and a half, that can be distributed to the beneficiaries. So there are ways to pull money out of a Roth prior to 59 and a half. But if we just go off of the 59 and a half rule and we don't meet any of these other allowances to pull money out, then of course it's got to be 59 and a half, and you've got to have had the funds in there for at least 5 years.
Sure.
So but that all by itself. I mean, hey, you start at 55 and you do Roth conversion or you do contribution. I mean, 5 years puts you at age 60. You have the account open for 5 years, and then now the money's free and clear to start using for income in retirement. Or anything else in retirement for that matter. And again, it's all tax free. So it's a great tool, Tony. I mean, it's not the only tool, and it's not the only tool you should have in your toolbox, but it's definitely one tool that should be there.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, there's always some things to watch out for. I'm glad you went over those. One thing I'm curious about here, and I bet a lot of listeners are as well, are some of the things you can use to determine whether or not you want to choose a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. Break that down a bit for us.
Sure. So I think a real important distinction, essentially the choice between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA comes down to the filer's tax bracket, their expected tax bracket when they retire, and their personal preference. So people who may be in a higher tax bracket when they retire are likely to find a Roth IRA to be beneficial because the amount of tax avoided in retirement will be more than the income tax paid in the present. Accordingly, a younger and lower income worker may have the most to gain from going from a Roth IRA, of course. The right decision for everyone really depends on their unique situation. So we have to look at your existing tax bracket, and we have to look at the projected tax bracket in retirement and what income you're going to be what income bracket you'll be in retirement, and make those calculations to see if it makes more sense to take the tax break going in, which would be more of a traditional IRA where you get the tax break on the contribution going in, or will it be more beneficial to take the tax break coming out?
Yeah, it seems like there are some clear distinctions, obviously, between Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs that are pretty easy to grasp. But that being said, this also seems like the right time to remind folks that they definitely should be working with a trusted financial professional, an advisor like yourself who's a fiduciary, who's really going to be able to take the time to peel back every layer of choosing between a Roth and a traditional IRA based on your personal situation. What do you have for us next?
Well, Tony, some people may choose to open or convert to a Roth IRA because they're nervous about the potential future tax increases, and a Roth would allow them to lock in the current tax rate on the balance of the conversion. High earners who are able to contribute to a Roth retirement plan through their employer, perhaps with a Roth 401k, for example, can also roll these plans into a Roth IRA without any tax ramifications, and thereby escape having to take mandatory minimum distributions at now the age of 72. So again, we have to do the calculation, and I would say at the end of it, pre-tax dollars in a traditional IRA or a 401k or the tax-free strategy in a Roth, I think, the one's not better than the other. I think having the Roth in the mix of investments, whether we talking about income planning and retirement or estate planning, passing on assets to our heirs, the Roth can play a great role. As far as Roth conversions go, as I said, we want to do the Roth conversion strategy and look at if it makes sense and what the tax liability would be now versus later. So there's some really sophisticated software that helps us really pinpoint exactly what to convert and how to convert it. But I tell you, Tony, it's a great strategy. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, gee, I'm going to retire in 5 years, and I really think that taxes are going to be higher later, and I think that these tax cuts are going to expire at some point, which we know they will, and then what's going to happen to the marginal tax rates? if you're somebody that feels that these rates are going to be higher in the future, doing some Roths or doing some Roth conversions can really could be a real winner for you in retirement.
Well, Anthony, we're out of time for today's show. I cannot believe it just flew by. Why don't you let our listeners know one more time about how they can register for that upcoming webinar and get a hold of you if they have any questions?
Absolutely. Well, the webinars are fabulous. If you've got any thoughts about retirement, if you're a pre-retiree or you're already in retirement, these are webinars you won't want to miss. They're educational. They're only 30 minutes long, but we pack a lot of good information into the main topics, Tony, whether it be tax planning in retirement, Medicare, Social Security, income planning, estate planning, all of the things that we feel are very, very important as it relates to an overall holistic retirement plan. So I would just encourage you to log on to crescentcityretirement.com or go to retirementseminarregistration.com and look at the topics, register for an upcoming webinar we have. You can watch right in the comfort of your own home and just log in. And, we put a lot into these webinars to really give the most timely information that we can. So if you're retired or soon to be retired, these are webinars you will not want to miss. Bring a notepad, take good notes, or give our office a call at 504-828-2171. And we thank you so much for listening and tuning in every Sunday morning. We really appreciate our radio audience, and thank you so much, and have a great and blessed week.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Keys. Don't pay too much for taxes or retire without a sound income plan. For more information, please contact Anthony Congemi at Crescent City Retirement Group. Call 504-828-2171 or visit the website at crescentcityretirement.com. All matters discussed during this show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation. Anthony Congemi and Crescent City Retirement Group are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency.